Now this is a story all about how my life got turned upside down.
And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how I became conscious in the world of despair.
Hey guys, welcome back to Conscious Convos. So today we're going to be talking about materialism and what it is.
So, materialism, what is and what isn't materialism? Well, from my perspective, I say it's buying a bunch of shit that you don't need or want, but you get it anyway to impress other people or to look cool for other people. But deep down, you know you really don't want it, but you need approval and validation from people. So it's kind of, it's kind of tricky. So, it's my point of view.
I think it's a slippery slope to go down. I think there's a lot of subliminal messaging going on, and I feel like people, I don't know, they try to get your attention with ads, anywhere you can think of, media. There's so many different ways that they can pull you in and like make you feel insecure and all this stuff to try to get you to buy things that you don't really need. So
I feel like materialism is just kind of something that distances you from your spiritual connection because it attaches you to worldly things and things you don't really need. And honestly, I think it's okay to own material possessions, but the point where it becomes materialism is when you obsess over them and when you feel you need them and when you feel they're a part of your life. I think that's the point where it becomes materialism.
I totally agree. I think materialism is filling the void in your life with stuff that you want, you think you want, just to get a feeling of satisfaction, when in reality, you never find it.
I also feel when you're in the moment, though, you don't really know that you're doing it. You have no idea. Like, you make these impulsive decisions, but you have no idea that it's bad. You think it's a good thing, such as like cars, a house. Like, everyone like thinks houses are great, but you don't really need a big house just because you have a family. Like, you can have, like, it's okay to have a smaller house and not spend as much money. Like, that's okay. And it doesn't make your house any different from a big house, that was really expensive. And I feel like people get in these traps with loans and mortgages and even smaller loans, such as like a phone bill payment. Like, how the Apples now, they have like, you pay like $20 a month and you can get a brand new iPhone 7 for that. And it's a trap that people fall into very frequently.
I mean, I think it's just because it's such a normal thing in our society. Like, you see everybody, they're always going out buying houses, buying these big things. So other people do it, and they're just like, oh, it's no big deal. Everyone else does it. And that's just, I feel like putting yourself in with the majority and using that as an excuse is never really an acceptable excuse to use.
Yeah, and I think why I kind of know, like, you don't want to feel alienated from everybody else. When you see like people with the new Jordan, it's like, oh, bro, you got the new Jordan, you're dope and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, you like that validation and approval you get. So it's like your mind registers that you're like, okay, so if I get the new Jordan or something, then I fit in with everybody. Everybody likes me. I'm gonna do it again over and over and over. It's like a trap. A rat race.
Yeah.
Basically.
Right. It's very cyclical materialism. It's very wanting something that you don't need because you think that it will bring you all this joy and happiness. And it never, as you guys said, it never truly does. So,
yeah, and then if you hear someone like that has the iPhone 7 or something, and they see somebody and they're talking with them and they're like, oh, you still have the iPhone 5, and you can just kind of hear that disapproval in their voice. Right. Like, it's just kind of something that's instilled in you. Like, if you don't have the latest,
there's
greatest
a stigma
thing
about not being materialistic almost.
Yeah, if you don't have the latest, greatest thing,
if you
then
have
you're just
the resources for it.
Yeah, you're just way behind the trend. And
I think that's a big problem in society because they teach us that if we don't have the newest thing that we're not good enough or we can't measure up to others. We don't own this certain material thing. And it's crazy, like you just said, even after we get it, we're gonna keep chasing it because we need more to identify with. It's never enough. Never enough money, never enough shoes, never enough jewelry, never enough handbags, whatever it is. It's never enough.
And that's honestly like a business tactic because these big businesses, they're like, oh, well, yeah, you bought this, but now we have a new one. We want everyone to go out and buy this. And we need everybody to spend money on this. So they just kind of make it this social stigma that if you don't have the newest thing, then you're way behind the trends and you're unpopular and nobody will love you and you're going to die alone. And they just try to make it seem like the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
Yeah, I feel like at that point
know
is
that,
when
yeah.
it also becomes a psychological issue as well. Like people are feeling now that they aren't good enough if they don't have the newest thing and the most trendy thing, which is really not how it should be.
I feel like it has a lot to do with confidence.
That
I
as
know
well.
that it when you do feel insecure, you kind of lean towards that stuff to basically give you a sense of yourself. And I know a lot of times, like when people are going through high school or trying to figure out who they are, it's really easy to like lean towards buying things, like buying new clothes, because you don't really know yourself. You're not really comfortable with who you are. So you want to fit in with everyone else and follow what everyone else is doing, follow the masses around you, and have the new trend because you don't know your style yet. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you like yet. And I feel like a lot of new things that are out now, new trends are aimed a lot towards like high schooler students and like young teens.
They're impressionable for sure. And we know that people buy things based on emotion and then they use logic and reason to justify it later. So that's what the companies really prey upon is the fact that people are insecure, they do want more, and they make things seem like they need to be had in order to be happy, when really that's going about it from the wrong way.
Definitely. Like so do y'all feel like it's more like a deep-seated lack or just the needing for approval and attention?
It's either or, I think. I think it could go either way. I mean, sometimes people can have voids in their life and they look towards buying things to fill that kind of stuff instead of looking within. And I feel like it could go the other way as well with really just not knowing who you are.
That's something I find most people whenever they are just whenever they finally hit that point where they have all this money coming in and they can buy anything they want and they can just have everything they ever dreamed of and everything they ever wanted. And then it just kind of hits them where like, all right, everything that I dreamed of since I was a child, I have it now, but I still don't feel satisfied inside. And I always felt like I would. You go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like the American dream is still very relevant even today. And people basically just work their whole lives. They get in these jobs that they don't like and just keep doing it. They don't, like, they're upset, they're tired every day, but they think it's normal. They think it's normal to, like, work these 9-to-5 jobs every day and then go on and on through life and then end up retiring. And they do this just like so they can afford things like big houses and nice cars, but you're really just working your life away just for these just for what I was talking about earlier was you're basically just working for these compliments. You do get compliments when you have a nice house, you do get compliments when you have a nice car, but it's like that's it. And
That's the validation that people are looking for is those compliments.
I think like a big tier to all of this is self love and self acceptance. Because once you have and you accept and love yourself, you don't need approval or validation from anybody because you've already accepted yourself. So all of that is cool, but it's like I didn't need it because I love myself already. I mean, you're completely independent of the opinions of others. So whatever they say, you just brush it right off, good or bad.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what?
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
Um,
So what that is like detaching yourself from those items. You know, if you don't really care about the compliments that much, it doesn't bother you. You're not really that attached to those items, and you don't really need the compliments anymore. It's just more about the practicality and what it means to you to get those items.
what I was going to say is I think a good way to, kind of steer clear of that stuff is just by really focusing on yourself and gaining self-confidence. I think that's a big step up, is just having confidence for yourself and not having to follow all of the latest trends, and being okay with that, being content with that, and knowing that you're just as good as a person as the people with all of these materialistic objects and like that are with like the new trends. Like I think it's even more empowering to see people kind of setting their own, and I think it's a beautiful thing if you can really learn how to do that.
I think with that, once you start to do that, you become more comfortable with yourself too. Because, like, if you see me walking around school, I'll just be in some slippers, some shorts, and a sweatshirt. And sometimes I'll get weird looks, but I'm like, I don't care. Look at me all you want. I'm comfortable, and this is what I want to do. So, it's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know who they are. They fear being their true self around people because they're afraid of how people will react. It's another big reason. Because your true self doesn't care about any of that crap. It's just
Yeah.
crap. The companies that pitch us this crap, they're not aiming towards our true self. They're coming towards our ego, which is like the weaker part of ourselves. So
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah. Another good cure to this whole materialism trap that I think it would be beneficial for people is to get out into nature more often, to experience the real world and see that you don't need this kind of like shiny stuff to be happy because nature is beautiful and you can enjoy it and be happy.
It's really interesting to me when I sit in a place where I'm surrounded by trees, but like in the distance, I could also see like a billboard or something. It's like a very prominent juxtaposition, like seeing the illusion of like they want us to be all materialistic and stuff, but the real the real way of the earth is just to vibe with the earth and not to give in to these manipulative people that are also on earth, you know?
I kind of have to disagree with you there, Brooklyn, because I know Sean said he'd watched it too. The Requiem for the American Dream.
Yeah.
He talks about it in there. There was just such this uproar, and just people who normally wouldn't speak out against the government and the businesses and corporations in society. And the businesses after this period, they really hammer down with an iron fist on everything and develop these new ways to control society so they could have more power over them. And one of the ways is like they're not even try to hide it. They bribe these politicians and just like so they're like, hey, remember when I loaned you that money so you could run to be president or be governor? Yeah, now you know how you're supposed to pass that environment bill that was supposed to cut out the pollution rate, yeah, you can't do that because that's no good for us.
Okay, guys, that was our video for this week on materialism. So we have two challenges that we want you guys to try out. So the first one is to take a look at when you're shopping, any impulse buys or things that you really want. Think about your intention when you're buying it. Maybe give it some time. Maybe think about if you really need it, if you really are going to use it, how beneficial it will be in your life. And then think about also, number two, the things that you already own. If you don't use any of it, maybe someone in need could use it more than you could. And then also just making sure that there's nothing that you feel overwhelmed by or controlled by or like you need validation. If you guys have like any questions, you can totally reach out, leave a comment, check us out on Instagram at Conscious Convos. And yeah, so thank you.
If you guys have any ideas for the next video, make sure to comment down below and we'll try to cover that topic if you're interested in it.
All right. right. Stay tuned for next week's video, guys. We'll be looking forward to it.
All right, thanks guys for watching.
Bye, guys.
Generic
Bye.
statement.